as Namco, we own the IP, but as you, as a creator, what we'll do is let's collaborate. Let's say Namco comes in and says, for every one of those things you do sell, we want like 15% or something, or 20%. From a content creator point of view, I go, and that's my licensing fee, right? And they go, yeah, that's the licensing. See, it's the attitude that needs adjustment, not the laws. Because the attitude hasn't adjusted to collaborate and meet us halfway, we end up with these knockoffs. We end up with all this stuff. In the real world, can I create a Miss Pac-Man machine? Yeah. I can go down to 2 bits and get the artwork legally. I can buy a Miss Pac-Man machine legally, refurbish it legally. Namco will have no problem with that. I could put it out in my den and turn a quarter slot on, charge quarters for it. Namco doesn't have a problem. In the virtual world, Namco would have a problem if I sold this outright. But here's the thing: in virtual worlds and such, it happens with or without them. It's kind of the same concept of peer-to-peer sharing. BitTorrent continues with whether or not the RIAA and the MPAA like it. People still download movies. People still download whole entire discographies. People still download that stuff. People still trade and they share. And the reason is because, not because people really want to, steal, so to speak. It's because the industry doesn't give them a better option. They don't give them anything better, right? They give you their movies, 10 times over on 10 different formats to make you buy it over and over again. They didn't give anybody a better offer. It's because the companies haven't evolved their attitude towards media, towards the shared collaborative economy of the end-to-end users. Now you see companies like Nintendo kind of get that. They're starting to get that. You see a game like Mario Maker, where they say, we're just going to give you the tools to make Mario levels. And you, on Nintendo Wii and your Wii U gamepad, can make all the levels you want, and y'all can play your own levels. And you know what happened? Billions of levels show up. People just, millions and millions of levels, more levels than Nintendo has ever possibly conceived of for Mario. And every capacity that they could never even dream of showed up. And Nintendo went, wow, we should have done this one from the beginning. And that's the power of collaboration. The attitude change. Little Big Planet is another example. When you start coming up and saying, make your own levels, make your own stuff, we'll give you the tools. If you want to make money at it, fair enough. We want to cut. That's how you do it. We're partners in the future. Not either or. I think the faster companies realize that, better off. That's how virtual worlds are going to be. They're going to fight it and lose because they have been fighting and losing miserably. You take all the people you want to court, you get all the DMCA notices you want. It's like a Hydra. You cut off one head and 5 more pop up. So intellectual property and copyright doesn't necessarily need to change. The attitudes of the copyright and the intellectual property right holder needs to change. How we apply our rights for this stuff needs to change. How do we send the lawyers after this guy? If we start seeing kids making amazing stuff with our IP, do we send the lawyers, or do we call the kid up and say, hey, we saw this and we think it's brilliant. We'd like to talk to you and maybe work something out here. No, we're not sending lawyers. Don't crap yourself, kid. We think there's something here. We want to see what can be explored here. And that's kind of what happened with Rooster Teeth on YouTube. They made for the longest time a series called Red vs. Blue. I think they still do. And it was based off of Halo. They used Halo and game engine to make a series. A brilliant series. And you know what happened? They would say, yes, this is Bungie, and no, they weren't making any money, and blah, blah, and they could have been taken out at any minute. But what happened was, instead of taking them out, Microsoft worked with them. Microsoft gave them perks. Microsoft came in and said, hey, we own Bungie and and Halo and all the IP, but we're not gonna penalize you for it. We think this is great. We want to work with you on this. We want to help you out. That's the attitude we need. That's the attitude that's going to change everything. Not the copyright laws changing, or not the IP laws changing. just the attitude and how we apply it.
Very cool. Similar to the music industry and people sharing their music with almost pay what it's worth and Creative Commons licensing. Things are moving more towards participatory culture with a respect for the content that people create. And so that's what I think you mean by the attitude, respecting the creators rather than just, taking from them. I do want to say this was just great, Will. I really appreciate hearing your thoughts about the future of the metaverse and virtual reality and where a lot of these things are heading in the future as we all realize we now live in what I like to call global digital participatory culture, and virtual worlds are certainly a part of that.